But you got a question in the comments from Evil Ways, and only you
Yeah.
could answer this one. So,
Who chooses
Mm,
topics of discussion here, and what is the goal of this channel?
mm.
Well, I do all the work. That's not bragging whatsoever.
yes, yes, he does. He is amazing.
I choose all the topics, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you a fair game, Evil. I am fully aware. Um, oh, thanks, dear. She put my clothes in the dryer. Thank you, babe.
Oh,
Um, I'm fully aware the show is not for everybody. Quite aware of that. What I do is there's political, there's social, there's economic topics that I feel like that we need to discuss on this show. If you watch our Saturday show, as much as I like to say it's the more feel
lighthearted.
good, lighthearted version of the show, and to an extent it is. But our show have come to I have come to the realization that this show can make any topic political, social, economic, so on and so forth. Which is why if you stick with us, Evil, it's kind of funny. Stick with us, Evil. Stick with us, Evil Ways. You will realize that if you look at and I said this last night, if you look at the shows that I put out throughout the week, and Theus, you wasn't on the show, so I'll tell you this too. There was a part of the show where it was a two-parter. Um, a part one and a part two. I like to do that a lot because it's very low. What you don't realize is that the subject that I did a two-parter on was not the original subject that we talked about. We have a tendency of we could take a topic and go far left and talk about a different topic. The only issue that we have is the topic that we go far left on is effing good. So I can't take it out of the show because it is essential to our thoughts and our beliefs. So I'm fully aware that this show is not for everybody. But understand and believe me, if you stick with the show long enough, you will get with the gist of it because we do it. We have done it so many times. We can sit here and talk about tree leaves falling off a tree in the fields. We will end off with, and that's why I don't. That's why I can't believe that people are justifying slavery and putting up monuments, and they think that it's okay. We have literally done this before. But what I want you to truly understand about this show is it is informative. We try to educate and we try to entertain. We're just all over the place. We are the most disciplined, non-disciplined group on the face of the planet. But best believe when you watch our 3-hour show, you would think, wow, they are very undisciplined. They can't stick to a topic. Then when you watch the segments that I put through the week, you go, wow, that's a real disciplined group. They really stick to the topic. Not realizing, no, that was the undisciplined part. We just went to a totally different damn subject.
I
But
would I would really just say that, we take either current events or just familial situations and then pontificate. It's for the conversations because, like you said, our conversations can start at point A, but we'll go to point Z in no time at all. Um, or Z for Americans. And Marlon Marlon does 98% of the show. He's the one putting together all the videos. He is the one that chooses all of the stories. He is the one, as
doing
much
all
as
the editing
we. Sorry?
and doing all the editing and all the maintenance and all. Yeah.
He
oh
does
yeah,
a lot of work.
I got a story on the maintenance too. Let me go ahead and finish some of these. Are you satisfied with the route that it is
Hmm?
going? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough going at the beginning, and Parker has sat there and said, yes, Radical Truth to Power has like 100 subscribers less than a year ago, and it's getting bigger. Yeah, because at one point I could not get over 100 subscribers. Like I was dangling at 70 something. Then it went to
Right.
100. Then it went to 200 in 3
Something.
months, 4 months. And now I'm about to reach 300. The deal is I'm not going for, what's the word, Theas? When I just
Well, I
put
mean,
when you just put out a whole bunch of crap because it's the most popular freaking topic, and then realize that it's the wrong damn topic, but I ain't got the balls to come back over here and say, "Oops, sorry." I just go scintillation. Not
You don't send. Oh, I know
well, no,
what you mean.
I get it, and
Sensationalized.
my interpretation may be
Wait, let
different than
me
everyone
finish these
else's.
questions real quick, please. I'm sorry. Let me finish.
But yeah,
Is there any age range that you are aiming for? No.
Mhm.
Surprisingly enough, the age range that I've been getting the most views, yeah, this is gonna be a shocker, is in the 50 to 60 range.
Really?
Years old range. 45 comes in at about second, and the 30s are like third, but kind of far third place.
Hmm.
So the older range,
and then we got the 19-year-old Parker out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, then I got baby mafia watching at the tender age of 13. I'm from Mexico. Okay, well, again, welcome, because I have
Yeah,
the.
thank you so much for taking the time.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So I do have New England. I mean, not New England. I do have London. Sorry, not New England. That's saying a lot. You got somebody in the state. Yes, I do. I got Mexico from you. I got England.
What
I got
country is Susan in?
Susan is
Denmark.
Denmark.
That sounds
I got
right. Okay.
Susan from Denmark. I got some views from India. I got some views from Africa. I got some views from Australia. I got a lot of views from Australia. Figure that out in a million years. I got some views from. I had some views from Russia for a while.
Oh, no, that's just Oppo research, brother.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. I've had arguments with my black friends about who has the worst, Mexicans or blacks in the United States.
Mm.
And I would
Why
say,
would you try to argue?
say this right now: don't argue that point. You're not. Neither one of y'all are going to win the argument because both of y'all are arguing from your point of view in the life that you lived. So what's the point of arguing? Also, that is the most miserable damn conversation to have with somebody. My life was a whole lot worse than your life. Ooh-wee. Why? So even if you was to win
the Oppression Olympics,
yeah, the Depression Olympics, even if everybody was to agree, okay, your life is worse. What did you win?
So I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna disagree.
Of course you would.
But I disagree in a creative way. Because I don't think in a straight line like everybody, like some other people in this world do. I think it is a healthy discussion to engage in if you are actually intending to move the conversation forward. And so, on one level, no, don't get into the pissing contest of the Oppression Olympics. Nobody can win that fucking event, right? It's just not worth it. But it's a good conversation to go into because it can lead you to some understandings and breakthroughs that you didn't even know you were coming for. See, because the thing about it is a lot of people, especially a lot of the black people in America, African Americans, we don't really know our own history because we're being taught by our historical oppressors. So we're not even getting the full answer.
Yeah,
and then as we've gotten closer to getting more full answers, the people who have been trying to keep us from getting those answers are trying even harder to hide the information because more of us are getting more awareness. So you're already dealing with the situation of how well do you even know your own struggle? So once you get into these types of debates and discussions with someone like, say, myself or someone far more learned than myself, then you start learning things and you start picking up perspectives that you didn't even know were on the table. Like it was only because I interact with so many of my Latino friends, so I can't necessarily say they all Mexican because I only know a couple of Mexican people. Because in Georgia, it's just weird, man. This fucking place is weird. But when I lived up
Sorry,
north,
can I?
You got
I'm
to go.
sorry, so
I'm sorry.
sorry. I really need to cut in and say good night.
Anna, thank you so much for coming on this show.
Love you, Anna.
I appreciate it. You're the reason why we got Evil to come on the show in a way. So I appreciate you getting another viewer for us. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Enjoy your family. And I'm really jealous this is only 7 o'clock at your place and it's 10 o'clock here. But I love you. Have a good night.
Good night, Anna.
Good night.
Go ahead, Theus.
No, but then like start talking to other people because that's one of the things that's a self-limiting, and we don't even know always that that's what's happening to ourselves. So when you get to talking to people of different backgrounds, and we're just going to use Mexican in this particular case, then you start learning things about how fucking half of America, you know what I'm saying, was stolen by illegitimate warfare. So they cut their country down to what it is. And then there's the geopolitical things that go on. And then there's what happens, and a lot of black people don't know this, but what happens in our legal system. See, the legal system is set up in such a way that it goes after our young men, black men. It goes after our young men and disappears them into the system. But it's a whole nother game when we're talking about when they go and get someone of Latin descent and disappear them into the system. Because see, when they disappear one of my children into the system, you still have, you got an inmate number, they know where you are, they're tracking everything you're doing. But for some people, born in America, 100% American citizen, but because you speak Spanish as your primary language or fluently, so you have an accent, you always run the risk of some bigot with a badge pulling you over and pretending that you are not a citizen. And now you have to justify your own defense. And if they do suck certain people into the system, be they illegal or they be citizens, they can get sucked into the system and never have a classification. They can just float around in the ether out there because they're being held under detention of violating international law as an immigrant. So it's not even the same as you getting railroaded for, you know, a petty crime as a black person. So everybody's got a lot of bullshit going on and a lot of trauma happening, but you don't get a chance to learn some of it and see some of it until you run into other people. And it's when you start learning things about the plight of the poor white person in America and some of the shit that they have to go through, or our indigenous people and what they have to go through. I'm gonna leave it with this. Black Panther Part 2. Did not enjoy that movie except for this. There were some wonderful undertones to that fucking movie, where it was showing, yes, you have your grievances and you are justified in your grievances. They do too. Now, where do our grievances line up and what can we do together to make things better for other people? There you go. So that's why I say I disagree. I think it's a great debate to get into if the people that are involved are on some level interested in learning something.
Come in with good faith. If you're gonna
You ain't even got to come in with it.
No. Okay, we back to my opinion. I'm too old. I'm sorry. I'm not. I cannot sit here and play this game with you. Where and Evil, you will understand as if you keep watching this show when I say the laminated piece of paper. So you're new here, so I'll explain to you the laminated piece of paper. The laminated piece of paper is that paper where they have an answer to every question that you have with every question that they ask you. So they ask a question, you give them an answer, they look and go, okay, yeah. So in other words, I'm gonna go ahead and skip. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to Foxy Video of the Week just to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let me hold on. Let me
before you hit the button, Learn Life had a comment. Acknowledging the struggles isn't the same as deciding who has it worse though. I agree. What I'm getting at is the conversation can start with us in a pissing contest of who had it worse. Because you know that's what's the low hanging fruit. It's the easiest thing. Everybody loves to be a victim. Very few people want to put the effort to be a hero. So they're going to come in and they're belly aching and you're belly aching. But the beautiful thing to me about that is if you're in the mode, right? Like Marlon was saying, you got to be in that mode. If you're not in that mode, then don't even engage. Like find a way to get the fuck away from it because you don't want to be in a game of rhetorical fetch. You know, well, I had this happen. Well, I had this happen. Right?
Wait. Hold that thought. Just hold that thought. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. I ain't mean to interrupt you. This is what I mean by not getting to conversation. I'm not even going to take anybody down because it's 17 seconds long, but it's the truth.
Arguing with a Trump supporter is like 2 + 2 is 4. Yeah, well, what about 2 + 3, huh? That's not 4. That's a different equation with a different answer. Oh yeah, where'd you hear that, CNN?
See, that right there. I'm too damn old to hold a conversation with you when you come in bad faith. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to waste my time. F you. You're going to believe what you want to believe, and you're trying to get me into an argument with a got you question where you keep moving the goalpost, not left or right, but left, right, up, down, 50-yard line, into the seats, outside into the parking lot, up the street from the stadium. No. I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to get to the comments and we got to move on. I was saying yesterday about Trump's and Trump going to court and it being televised. And I said, I'm so on the fence of that. Because I understand where people coming from with, all right, it's being televised. Now these Trump supporters can see exactly what it is that's going on, and maybe they can see the light. And I'm just looking at you like, fucker, it's been 8 damn years. Do you really think you televising it is going to make them see the light? All you really doing is you may save 2-3% of people going, okay, this is really fucked up. The majority of them is going to be ready to go look at Fox and see their breakdown video to a certain point where they can skew it back in favor of Trump.
But that's not really that's not the objective, though. At least it shouldn't be. Like with this situation with Trump, I think it should be televised because I think now, right and wrong and good and evil are, shaded words from a comic book world. But if you're on the side of trying to do things right, so to speak, you should be committed to trying to keep the lights on as much as absolutely possible. So if you do televise it, you can't make people watch it and you can't make people actually process the information you're giving, but you're doing it in the light of day, right? Yes, it's in front. Whereas if it's not televised, now you're doing it in the dark. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing anything unscrupulous, but because you're doing it in the dark, you're leaving it all subject to imagination. So that's why I would say it's good having it televised, because I think the lights need to be turned on here. And while those of us who are in this thing where we're absorbing politics constantly, we're already kind of well briefed. But there's a huge swath of America. They purposely have never turned on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, Drudge. They don't look at none of that. Okay. So this would be an opportunity for them to actually see some things for the first or maybe even second time that they've ever really heard it, and then the rest of the world is watching. So that's why I would say there's a case for having it televised. I don't think that it's the end all be all, right? I don't think it's gonna, like you said, it ain't gonna all of a sudden people who are in his corner are gonna be like, oh, I was wrong all along.
But thank you for saying that too. Thea, because something that you said did click. So we can move on. So Evo, just to narrow down what this show is about, it's not a vacuum chamber. What I try to reach is, I'm not trying to reach the left, the people like that. 9 out of 10 of them agree with us anyway. I'm not trying to reach the right, cause why? But the people who are on the fence, I literally try to make sure that even if it's my opinion, we come from a state of fact. Like in other words, when you see an event happen and then the following weekend you don't see me report it or say anything about it, it's because we don't have enough facts. You have a story. And I always sit on a story till we get more facts. I do not want to be that type of people who get views. And yeah, I get views very slowly. I understand that. But I would rather get views very slowly on facts and figures and an understanding for each other than just stardom. Just a whole bunch of rhetoric where I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, even if I'm wrong, I could just go on to the next tragedy, the next issue, the next whatever. I don't do celebrity anything on here because I don't give a damn. Somebody who gets married or unmarried ain't gonna change this country. Trust me, it hasn't. Ever. And it never will. Why? Because I'm not gonna, why it doesn't? Because it just doesn't. But what Mitch McConnell do, what Jim Jordan do, what Marjorie Taylor Greene do, what Laura Boebert do, what Joe Biden do, what where Donald Trump does, Cruz, DeSantis, people like that will F up your life. And we're going to report it. Whether you take it or not, that's on you. We're going to be blunt, but we're going to be honest. That's why we was talking about Mitch McConnell. I was talking about the human beings where if you see this as somebody else, maybe you need to get the side out that, hey, look, grandpa, grandma, look, I looked at this video and these are the signs that there may be an issue. So we need to take this a little more seriously. You're getting up in age like that. And I don't want you to suffer in your old age. This sure as hell ain't fucking with damn Mitch McConnell. Fuck Mitch. I've told you that millions of times. I did that with Rush Limbaugh. And I pretty much ended with, stop taking so much damn drugs that it kill you at the end. But fuck Rush. You can't, you to me, my opinion again, you can't fuck with me and my damn people for decades and think you're going to get some damn sympathy because your ass died. Fuck you. Because that's your legacy. That's what you left. So you did. Sorry. And I'm going to move on. But ain't no tears shedding. And at the same time, there's no me going out in the rain, jumping up and down, going woohoo either because you dead either. That's personally, that's me. I don't celebrate anybody's death. But that's my point of this show. Sorry. Again, you done seen an episode of a tangent that we go off of, or me at least. And the later it gets, the worse it gets too, by the way. Namor needs to be brown to keep his ties to the Aztec Indonesian plight.
That was me responding to Parker.
Yeah.
Side conversation.
Yeah. Namor's not real. Although the funny thing about it is a video. I gotta put it up one day where they said the Barbie movie, or what some people are calling the Wakanda for white bitches. And I was like, and they was cracking up and laughing and everything. I was like, that's not funny. What is so funny about that? Till they literally broke down the Wakanda movies and the Barbie movies. It is the same movie. It's the same damn movie.
How so?
I have to show you the video. I have to show you the video because if I do it now,
no, because I mean, that's the thing, man. It's like, sorry, this one pricks a nerve for me, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to piggyback off of our shit. You know what I'm saying? Everything shouldn't be compared to slavery, and everything shouldn't be compared to something that we done did. The Barbie movie, to my understanding, because I did not watch it, because I'm not even trying to watch no bubblegum movie. Okay, it's just not for me. But my wife and my daughter, they went and saw it, they enjoyed it and whatnot. But from everything I've picked up from that movie, it's lighthearted, it's fun, but it's also highlighting the ways that the patriarchy limits and obstructs the ability for women to self-actualize and be their own person. Right. So that's a message that needs to be out there, because even to this day, women are continuing to be obstructed in these pursuits. But Wakanda, the whole Black Panther thing, you know, the underlying story, so not the overarching story, but the underlying story is about survival up against oppressive nation states, right? America is the nation state. Wakanda and other European nations, Wakanda had to basically hide from the world in order to not suffer the same fate as the rest of the African continent. Namor and his people had to hide underwater, away from the world, to avoid total oblivion. Now, how does that tie in with fucking Barbie?
I can't answer because I don't have the video, so I'm not going to answer. Also, here's the funny thing about it. That's something new that you probably haven't seen on the show. I don't know the answer. So I'm not going to answer because I don't know the answer. See how that works? He asked a question. Hunter Biden. I'm not going to do that. I don't have the answer to it. I'll investigate. Evo, thank you. I appreciate it. You can always come on here and ask questions in good faith, and we will answer the best of our ability. But we're going to have to move on because it's getting late. Really late. I'm going to